Hey y'all, happy Sunday and welcome to the Hallway Life with your girls Stay Hall and Dr. Wallace Lee Hall over here.
Yes.
So good to see y'all. So I have been popping in, but this one right here, y'all haven't seen him since we got back in town. So Wallace, you need to tell the people hello.
How are y'all doing? It is good to see you guys. It's good to be back on after our brief hiatus. I think last time I was on was in Hawaii still? Was on the
Yeah,
beach?
while we were in Hawaii. Yeah, he
Yep.
hasn't been back. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Dolores. Thank you, too, for tuning
Hey,
in.
Crystal.
All your faves. Thank you, Crystal. We love you. Thank you. But yeah, he took a little break. He was tired. And then, of course, I put him back to work as soon as we got home because he the only full-time employee at iSalt. So I had stuff, he was on vacation, so there's still stuff to do. But yeah, he jumped back on. But we are super excited to be here. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, this is the Hallway Life. And our whole platform, the two of us together, is the Hallway, kind of a play on our last name, Hall. And what we like to say is our way is not the only way, and it may not be the best way for you, but it is our way. And we just like to share it. And it's just how we navigated singleness in the later ages of life, found love, got married at 40, and just the things that we've learned in our past to help us have a thriving relationship. And it's not only for people in relationships. We actually love to talk to our singles because one thing that we truly believe in is the fact of stay ready so you don't have to get ready, and be able to invest in yourself and do the things that you need to do to be a whole person and have as many skills and tools as you can before you enter into that seriously committed relationship or marriage, because it's not really a good on the job training type of thing. To me, you want to know as much as you can going into it, especially about yourself, because the more you know about yourself and the more comfortable you're in the skin that you're in, the better you will be with somebody else, right?
Yeah, I feel it's best to have a made up mind that this is what you want to do. I hate to say don't get in and waste somebody's time saying, oh, I think I want to try this. This will have a made up mind that this is what you want to pursue. Mm-hmm. This is what you want to do. And because you don't want to get into something and mess somebody else's life up, especially when we start talking about bringing children into the situation, things like that. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Although a vast majority of it will be learn as we go, because we learn each other. We're learning things about ourselves, learning things about our partner. But definitely have a made up mind that this is what you want to do. Don't get in and just start, like I say, messing with somebody's mind or someone's life.
And you said something that I thought about. Yeah. And so that's the main reason why I feel like it's important for single people who want to be a part of a relationship to kind of do things beforehand, is because there's still going to be a learning curve.
Right.
You're still going to, you can't know everything. So why not try to know as much as you can.
True.
Leading into it, because there's always going to be something that you need to learn. And so make it as easy for yourself as possible. And so today, we always have a main topic, and sometimes we stay on that main topic, and sometimes, we jump around depending on the needs of the business. But today we're talking about thriving together and balancing independence and togetherness in a relationship, because I know, speaking from a woman's point of view and from a lot of my life coaching clients, one of the main things that they struggle with, especially when you're entering into a relationship later on in life, right? And so where you've already kind of gotten set in your ways, so to speak, because a lot of people like to say that whole, I'm set in my ways, this is how I am, but we all have the ability to change. But it's just the fact that you're wondering, okay, I want a relationship, I want companionship, but am I going to lose who I am when I do that? I don't want to lose my independence. And a lot of people worry about that. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is just having that balance where, you can still be in a relationship, still be considerate of the other person's needs, the other person's feelings, their likes, their dislikes, and still be able to do the things that you like and be your own person. And a big part of that, I believe, starts with having some of those critical conversations early on about what independence looks like for you. Like if there is a yearly girls trip that you go on every single year and you don't want to stop doing that, have that conversation early on. Talk about what independence looks like for you. Talk about how much space you need for yourself. If it's financial independence where you want to have separate bank accounts, whatever that is, have those conversations early on. I think a lot of times people spend so much time in that early part of the relationship with their representative, and they want to hide certain things about themselves because they're afraid that it might scare the other person or turn them off. But if you're scared it's going to turn them off now, better for them to be turned off now instead of 6 months into the relationship. Hey, Deborah, thank you so much for tuning in. Says, I don't know why the start time keeps doing that. It did that last week too, Deborah. I'm going to have to look into it. I'm sure it's something I need to go in the settings and change. I don't know why it keeps on saying that, but it's always going to be 7 o'clock, but I'm going to look into that today. Thank you. Because Trish the Natural had told me that last time that it had me starting. Her said 12 a.m. So I don't know what's up with that, but thank you so much for letting me know. But go ahead, babe. Were you going to say something?
No, I didn't have anything to say on that. It's life.
You weren't listening to me. He wasn't listening to me. He was not. Y'all caught it live and in person. This is live too. Because what did I say have to do with his life? What I was saying is you want to have those crucial conversations up front. Don't wait until you've been together for months and months or even years and years and start to talk about what it looks like for you, what it is that you're afraid of losing relationship. Because even though a relationship is going to add to your life, there's certain things that you might have to sacrifice. There's certain things that you might lose, but you have to talk about your non-negotiables. And your non-negotiables, a lot of people, when they think about their non-negotiables, they just think about the things pertaining to the other person. Like my non-negotiable is, he can't be living with his mama. Right. He can't not have a car. He has to. But think about your non-negotiables as they pertain to you as well. Like, I don't want to be with somebody who is going to want to take away from my girls' time, somebody who's going to want me with them 24/7, somebody who's going to want to commingle funds and operate out of one bank account. You need to talk about those things as well. Now, babe, do you have anything to add to that?
First of all, let me say, I am actually also producing stuff, trying to do things. So there's a couple of different things. I do want to kind of apologize for that. You.
But that's the answer. Life.
Yeah, that is life though. But you do have to make sure you have those conversations when you go into it. Like I said earlier, you definitely don't want to go into something and you are playing with someone else's life, playing with someone's time, because we got that caught up on that Love Is Blind, and the young man was unsure of what he wanted to do, but yet he had led this young lady down this path that he was headed in. He was growing and he was getting better, and he just left her at the altar center telling her no. And he hadn't played with her life, and you can't do that. If you're going to go in that and you're going to take someone down that road, you got to make sure you have those conversations. Say, hey, this is what I want to do. Have your mind made up. This is not something I've done before, but I want to try it. And that way, that person has an opportunity to know. But if you something you don't want to try, you don't want to do, and like she's talking about commingling funds and being able to check in with somebody. I don't want to stay out clubbing all night and send those things like that. Like you said, you can't go out and have your boys' night or your girls' night, things like that. But definitely want to make sure you have those conversations, because I think in that Love Is Blind series also, there was somebody said, well, I don't want a man that's going to be out partying all night and all stuff. And the guy had only been out like one time, and it was only out for like 30, 40 minutes, but for some reason she was, I won't say, I'll try to be nice today, but that just wasn't something good to say. I mean, something good to do with that, but make sure you have set those expectations in the beginning of a relationship.
And the thing is, on both ends, like if there are certain things that you want to be able to do to still consider yourself independent and not lose yourself in someone, because so many people say that too. I feel like once I got married, I just lost myself. You have to say what the expectations are of what you want for your independence, and as well as what you expect from the other person, because a lot of people say what we should be able to do and what should be acceptable. However, if you are with somebody, I don't care if it's something as simple as wearing red lipstick or fuchsia nail polish. If you're with someone who just hates that and you're just like, well, I should be able to wear that, don't let go into the relationship thinking that that's going to change. And I know those things sound silly, but that's just what was on the top of my mind as an example. But if that's how somebody feels, the chances of that changing once you get into the relationship are slim to none. So if that's something that you just can't live without, then maybe that's not the relationship you want to be in, because no matter how small something seems, when they're not addressed and you're not able to come to a meeting of the minds, those things just continue to get bigger and snowball into other things. And so you want to say, well, I don't want to not go into a relationship just because of this. But if it is something that's already bothering you and you feel like you can't live without it and you need to do it, don't expect just because you continue to go through with the relationship that that person is going to change their mind and be okay with that. And keeping your independence, you have to be 100% honest, not only with that person and what independence looks like for you, but be honest with yourself. And don't feel like, oh, well, I can stop doing this for 3 months and then I'll just start doing it again. No, if you can't stop or start or whatever it is for the entirety of the relationship, then don't even do that.
Relationship requires change. It requires sacrifice. It requires certain things of you. Not necessarily being who you say you are, but finding out who you really are. And that's a big part of, I think, when you talked about that before, knowing who you are and knowing what you can do and what you can't do. But that comes from those conversations. You have to be able to do that. Then you discover, what am I giving up? And I think a lot of us are giving up stuff or not giving up stuff because we want to hold up because we're afraid of how it's going to look to other people, how it's going to look to our girls, how it's going to look to our boys or something like that. But when you look at the bottom line of it, why am I giving it up? I'm giving up because I want to be with this person. This is who I want to be with. This is who I want to spend all my time with. And I can't really worry about what everybody else is saying, because it's really what matters is what we're saying to each other and how you make me feel, how they make me feel, how I make them feel, and how that's how we do this relationship.
And one thing too, I know with me, I was very afraid of losing my independence when I entered into a serious relationship with Wallace, because I had been on my own for a while, single mom, and I was just an independent person by nature. But what I realized too is a lot of my independence came from being forced into that independent lifestyle because I didn't have anyone else to rely on but me. And so I thank God that I had the strength and the courage to be independent and be able to do things on my own. However, it felt good to have someone else to rely on. And Wallace had to kind of help guide me in that direction because I was so independent. It was like, I didn't even want him opening doors for me, pulling out my chair. Like everything that he tried to do, I was like, I can do it. I can do it. Getting gas in my car. I don't need you to get gas in my car. Helping me carry things into the house, whatever it was. Like I can't say too independent. I was what I needed to be during a certain period in my life, during a certain part of my journey. But what I realized is once I was with him and he was able to kind of alleviate some of that, I wasn't as stuck to that stuff as I thought I was. And it didn't make me feel any less independent as a person because I already had proven that I could stand on my own 2 feet. But did it really make me seem like an independent woman or make me feel any better to carry all the groceries in the house? No. So now it's more like I do help him with certain things, but at the same time, if I can, or I have something else to do, like something that happens with us a lot often is we'll go grocery shopping with the intention on me coming home and I'm going to cook dinner. And so I may bring in 1 load of groceries, set them down, and then I start getting dinner ready. And he might have to make 3 or 4 more trips. And I'm completely fine with that. Where before it was like, no, I got it. Now I'm just like, could you hurry up, please, sir?
Yeah, she didn't even want me dropping her off at the front and then go find a parking spot.
I still don't really like that.
And she said, well, I'll just ride with you to find a parking spot. I'm just like, well, why don't you just let me drop you off at the door? But I think the real question is, and this is something we've asked people before, what is independence?
And that's the thing.
What is
That's what I
independence
had
to
to
you?
figure out. Yeah.
What is independence? And then again, why am I fighting so hard for this independence? Well, what is it? And if it's about a matter of I don't need nobody or anything like that, then why are you in a relationship? Or if it's I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that. Independence is you can be independent in a relationship. It just depends on what form of independence, what it actually means, and what the meaning of it means. I can't talk. What independence means to you and how to operate in your independence. Because we do a lot of stuff together, but we do a lot of stuff separate. And there you have my time, she has her time. There's time I want to go, I go into the office and I'm reading or studying something or looking something over. Or I may need to make a run to the store or make a run, go play golf with some of my friends, or, just go meet somebody for lunch or something like that. I can have that independence. I don't really understand what the big argument is about the independence. Just depend on what it means to you and just being able to define that independence of yourself in that relationship.
Yeah, I think one issue with people sometimes can be that they feel like independence means doing whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want. And that's not independence. That's being selfish. Now, I talk about the importance of selfishness a lot when I'm talking about living your life, L.Y.F.E, love yourself first explicitly. But that's the selfishness in making sure that you are taken care of mind, body, and soul, but not the selfishness where I'm just going to do whatever, no matter how it affects someone else. And some people are afraid that when they get into a seriously committed relationship or a marriage, that means, yeah, I can't just do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, wherever I want. But why would you want to? Like, there is no way. And I shared with y'all before, I think when I was on my podcast by myself, how I used to have friends who were married during my time of singleness, and we would be planning something or whatever, and something kind of spurred a moment, and we're kind of looking in the single ones of us or the independent ones of us, because this is also when I was married previously. It was that same mindset. Where people would be like, oh, well, I can't really buy into it. I can't really commit to doing that right now. Say, for instance, my girlfriends and I would all be at lunch together on a Thursday, and a couple of us would decide, hey, let's go to DC this weekend. And there might be two married women who would say, and I can't even say married women because I was married too, but I was different. I was independent, right? But there would be a couple of married women who might say, well, I can't really let y'all know right now. I need to get home and talk to my husband and make sure. And I'd be the one to be like, oh, did y'all already have plans this weekend? Well, no, we don't really have anything going on, but I just got to make sure it's okay with my husband. And that would make me like choke. Like, what do you mean you have to make sure it's okay with your husband? If you don't have nothing else going on this weekend, if you didn't already make plans with him, why don't you just go? And they would be like, well, what are you going to tell your husband? I said, I'm going to just go home and say, hey, I'm going to DC this weekend. And they're like, oh, no, Herbie would never go for that. I don't know who Herbie is, but, Herbie would never go for that. And I'm like, go for that. What's that mean? You're grown. But again, that's because I wasn't only independent, I was selfish. And I felt like if whatever I'm doing ain't got nothing to do with you, then what do I have to check with you for? I'm using my own money. I have my own car. These are my friends and my weekend. Why can't I do it? And that's not the way to exert your independence in a relationship. You have to have compromise and harmony in the relationship. Hey, CC, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. And so if what you're afraid of is being able to lose the ability just to do whatever you want, then that is probably a red flag on your side that maybe you're just not ready for a seriously committed relationship.
It's called being considerate.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing. It's called being considerate of each other. It's like say once again, it becomes a partnership, and you don't want to act, outside of yourself or something. There's nothing wrong with letting someone else know what's going on, or, I ain't gonna say ask for permission.
No, but it's not necessarily ask for permission, but I just consider myself being considerate and checking in with you, because in my past relationship, that's exactly what I did. I let him know what was going on, and I don't want to let you know what's going on. I want to run it by you. I want your buy-in with it as well.
Yeah, it's like we have a deal where a certain amount. If you spend anything over $250, in our relationship, we just let each other know. Say, hey, I'm finna spend, finna spend $500 on something. Hey, what do you think about this? So our limit is roughly $250 that we check in with each other before we spend it, unless we're buying something for each other. That's a different story. But when we're just buying,
he don't care how much I spend if I'm buying something for him. I ain't got to check in.
Sky's the limit. She's the same way on that part.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you tons. I really appreciate you. Cece just saying hi. But yeah, and there are certain things too that you can kind of make some guidelines about and rules about, of things that you don't really have to check in with each other about. And when it comes to finances, the way we do things with our finances is, we have a household account that is going to take care of everything in the household, but both of us know how much money, and it's a little different now because Wallace is now full-time with me in the business. But before, when we were both working, or when he was working and I was just doing the business, we always were aware of how much money each person was bringing in. And we set up in a way where this much money from each of us goes into the household account, and then this much money from each of us can go into individual accounts for us, just so that we can do things like buy each other gifts without you seeing where I was shopping at. Like, I don't need you to see that I spent $400 at Men's Warehouse on September 1st and your birthday September 12th, because now oh, I'm probably getting a suit and whatever. And so we just, for those reasons, we separate things, but we're completely open and honest with each other about how much we have, how much we make, what we're bringing in. Now, that just works for us. I'm not saying that has to work for everybody. And then there's other things that we do, like when we were both in corporate and Wallace made substantially more money than I did, then we just decided the way we would do it is my income was going to go to the fun stuff. So I paid for vacations, I paid for dinners out, I paid for clothes, and he paid for everything else. And it's just the conversations that you have to have, that you can still be independent while you're co-mingling and working with each other, because your independence comes in during those conversations and giving your input of how you'd like to see things work and what works best for you, and not just doing things and not considering the other person at all.
Yeah, it's always been really funny, really weird to me how people draw such hard lines on this, and that's why I said earlier, the thing about it is you got to define what independence means to you and then what it looks like in our relationship. But I've seen people that have been kind of dating around for years or whatnot, and then they try to actually get together and get married, and then the marriage doesn't last any time because people are, hey, I don't want to lose who I am. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And like I said, you really got to figure out how to define. Really have to define. I don't know what. Like, I've been drinking today, and I haven't.
You haven't.
I haven't today.
Maybe we should.
Yeah, maybe we should. Maybe I need a little something. But you really have to define what independence means and what it looks like in your relationship. And if you do that and you have those critical conversations with each other, and when you're trying to put that together, that'll make it work a lot better for you. And it makes it smoother and easier. You're not having to really say, oh, I lost myself in this. You lost yourself because y'all didn't set the expectations in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. Cece said, do you know about any overseas accounts?
Yes, I know about overseas accounts.
No, do I need to know something, Cece? Let's talk offline. He said something to make you think like he got some money overseas.
Some investment stuff. Yeah, some investment stuff. But
I need to know about everything. That is so funny.
Y'all don't have any accounts in Switzerland or anything like that. But yeah.
That is so funny. But yeah, it's just important to to share everything and to share things as early as possible. One of the things with me, I guess, before, I just was like, I don't want anybody telling me what to do. And I had to mature out of that, first of all, because I was a lot younger when I was married before. So I had to mature out of that and realize that when you are in, and y'all have heard me say this a million times, a lot of this stuff is null and void, as my girl AD said on Love is Blind. But a lot of stuff is null and void when you are equally yoked. I never feel like Wallace is telling me what to do. I don't think he ever feels like he needs to tell me what to do, and vice versa. Like, if there's anything that Wallace ever doesn't want me to do or says no to or whatever, and vice versa, there's usually a reason behind it that really has nothing to do with us. It's timing. It's, having the resources or whatever. And so we're able to explain it. Like, there's nothing that I ever want to do that Wallace would be like, no, I don't want you doing that, because we're equally yoked. We're like-minded. So I'm not going to ever come to him and say, do you mind if I enter the twerk and wet t-shirt contest? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna say, hey, let's try it out here at the house first, and then we'll decide from there.
That's what I mean. Why do I try to be mature? And yeah, why do I try to be mature? Because clearly, and y'all don't call the police on me, but clearly I'm married to a 15-year-old. Clearly, so immature. But you know what I mean? When you're equally yoked and like-minded, you're not going to run into a lot of that. And the thing is, outside of some of my quirkiness in the very beginning, when it came to like finances and my time and whatever, which I had already worked out. Please don't encourage him, Cece. Do not encourage him.
Yes.
Don't encourage him. But outside of that, I realized that my independence is one of the main things that attracted Wallace to me. And it was the fact of not so much of how I needed to handle myself with him, because we're a team. He liked how I handled myself outside of the relationship. He liked how I carried myself in business. He liked how I handled other relationships with my friends, relationships with people in business. So that's the thing too. How do you define, we've said it a million times, independence, and what does independence mean to you? Because independence truly does not mean doing whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. That's not independence, and that's not even maturity. That's not even realistic. Even if you're by yourself, you can't really be that independent. There's going to be some rules and guidelines. Unless you constantly want to find yourself in some kind of trouble, there's always going to be some kind of structure, some kind of rules that are going to prohibit you from doing whatever you want to do, whether it's just the fact that you got to go to work. So you can't decide that you want to go fishing at 6 o'clock in the morning if you got to be at work by 7. You know what I mean? So don't go into a relationship, especially, like I said, if you're getting into a relationship later in life and just feel like, well, since I've been by myself, I could do whatever I want to do whenever. That's not true. No, you haven't.
No, like you said, there's structure, there's rules, there's guidelines to everything we do in life. The things that make us successful, make us who we are today. There had to be some structure and some guidelines in it. And think about this whole, I can do what I want to do. You got to remember, you actually telling them they can do whatever they want to do too. So you can't do whatever you want to do and then just say, no, you can't do whatever you want to. You need to call me. You need to check in with me. You need to talk to you. It doesn't work like that. And that's why you got to come in and have those conversations that, it really becomes a partnership. And when I say a partnership, you say 50-50, but it's not going to always be 50-50, because this kind of works out. Sometimes it's going to be 70-30 their favor, and sometimes it's going to be 70-30 your favor. Sometimes it may be 80-10, 80-20 your favor. And the vice versa. So, but that's just how the partnership work. It slides back and forth in that. And the whole independence thing, that's not good. But one thing we have with us is, and we talk about it just in communication, if I have an idea of something I want to do, an investment I want to make or something like that, we have to think of, sell it to me. I'll present all sides of why I think we need to go with this. She has to do the same thing with me. If she really wants to make an investment or want to do something, she comes, she explains to me what it is. And then we treat that as a partnership, as, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is why I want to do it. And if she can discuss it and sell me on the idea, I'm cool. I have to do the same thing with her, sell her on the idea. If we can't come to a convincing situation of, hey, we don't want to do it, then we might want to bag out of it and not do it. That's like, okay, well, maybe I wasn't looking at it like that. I wasn't thinking of it like that.
And that's the thing. Even as a married couple, I tell people all the time, we still run our marriage like a business. Like, we literally, if something comes up that I want to do or he wants to do, we'll have a meeting about it, and we will literally sit down, like he said, and present what it is to the other person and have a discussion. And again, if things don't go in my favor, I never feel like, oh, if I was by myself, I could have done it. No, I realize that it's great to have somebody on my team who can maybe point out things about whatever it is that I didn't see. Like, that is great, because when I was functioning and operating solely by myself, I didn't have that. And so I didn't have that other side to look at something and to look at something differently. And sometimes it's just like, okay, it's not a good time now, but what if we do it this way? And so to me, there's a lot more to gain from having somebody, I mean, because if all you're worried about is the fact that you want to be able to eat popcorn in bed, blast the music, stay up all night, go out with your girlfriends, like, what is it that you want the relationship for? If that's the things that you're worried about missing out on, then you're not ready for a relationship anyway. Hey, Tim, how are you? And thank you for your reminder always. Yes, y'all, please hit that thumbs up button. It really does help us. I appreciate it because I do forget to ask until Tim walks in the door. So thank you so much. And we appreciate you for being here.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted, we talk about talking to each other and things. We've been to Hawaii a few times here lately. I wanted to go swim with the sharks. She didn't want me to go swim with the sharks. So, I was kind of pouting in the moment, but she wouldn't let me do anything fun. But, I decided, hey, I won't go swim with the sharks. I will stay and chill and just watch other people go swim with the sharks.
No, but what he also realized, and that's a serious, or not serious, but that's a real case scenario. He has asked anytime we go somewhere where they have the option to swim with the sharks. Yes, shark bait, right? I don't know what he's trying to do. Hey, Trish. Hey, Lacey J. All day. All favorite couple. We got that twice today. We need to have a favorite couple contest because 2 people done called us their faves today. So let's make a contest. But the thing is, in all seriousness, I felt bad because I'm like, okay, he's been wanting to do this for years. And it was like really a huge and easy option for him. Right. Huge and easy option for him in Hawaii. And I had actually went ahead and booked it because I knew he wanted to do it. And so last year we were in Hawaii around Father's Day or on Father's Day. Yeah. And I went ahead and booked it for him as a Father's Day gift. And he could just tell that I was nervous. And so he ended up saying, babe, I don't know if you're able to get your money back or whatever. He's like, but I'm not going to be able to enjoy myself knowing that I'm leaving you on the boat, anxious and nervous. And he's like, and it wasn't until you really said, okay, and I saw that you were willing to kind of put your thoughts on the side to give me what I wanted, I realized that I was being selfish in that. And I really didn't need to do that. And the possibility of, yeah, sharks are hungry these days. And so how crazy would that be for him to get eaten by sharks when I had already took and told him? What did Jody say? I need to set up a meeting with you all to bounce some things off you because I value y'all's opinion. Absolutely. We're here for you, friend. You are family, girl. Swim with the dolphins first. Well, he's already done that. And so have I. See, that's what I'm saying. That's not bad. Yes, back in one piece, please. And that's the thing. I'm like, okay, is the insurance paid? Did you already text the kids and tell them that this was your idea? Yeah, we can. Jody laughing. Yeah, they hungry. They hungry. But that's the thing. It's just being able to sometimes put your desires to the side for somebody else. So goldfish give me the creeps. But he's more than welcome to do that.
That's no challenge. That's no challenge.
Whatever. I told him we got a pool out there. Swim with me. I'll chase you around.
I am working on a guy's trip to South Africa to go and do some stuff that we may do with the sharks out there.
Stuff we may do with the sharks. It's whatever, But that's the thing. And did you feel like you lost your independence in that scenario?
What, with the shark? Mm-hmm. No, because my independence took seconds. Trust me, took a backseat to making sure you're comfortable, you're okay, and that I didn't just think that was fair of me to put myself, because I would think, to me in that instance, I think I would become selfish to put that out there like that. Although it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but it's not that important. You're a lot more important to me than that. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah, and I didn't feel any kind of way about it, saying, hey, I'll do that. I'll do it again later, or somewhere. Or if I
what you gonna do? Wait till I die?
No.
See, you be saying stuff.
But I was able to just say, hey, you know what?
It
is what it is. Like I say, you're a lot more important to me than that. So.
Well, I appreciate you. And that's the thing. When, hey, J3, how are you? Coming in saying hello to everybody. I appreciate you, sir. Happy Sunday. But that's the thing. And that have
honey
to.
Is the bomb.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's really good on pepper bacon, y'all. Get some J3 honey. And okay, and so let me, as we're talking about doing a commercial for J3's honey, For all of my content creators who are in the house, please be sure to drop your links in the chat so that people can go and follow. We have some wonderful content creators in here. We have J3, we have CC, Trish the Natural was in here, Lacey J, whoever is in here, please just go ahead and drop your links because I want to make sure that you all are able to follow each other. And even Jody is on TikTok. She makes some great TikToks about all the little different gadgets that you can use at home to make life a little easier. So y'all want to follow my girl Jody on TikTok as well. Cece said, watch any shark movies. We don't make it. That's what I'm saying. And we watch shark movies all the time. I'm a fan of the shark movies. But I'm like, yeah, that stuff be happening in real life. And we have watched the shows. Like, we are big on Shark Week. And there are beaches that we actually visit.
I'm trying to break the stereotype.
Where people have been eaten by sharks. No, he crazy, y'all. He is crazy. But that's the thing in the whole independence. And being independent, again, doesn't mean just doing whatever you want, wherever you want, however you want. But it also isn't only independence in your relationship. Like, why do people, I wonder, sometimes feel like the only way to feel independent is if you're dominant in your relationship or doing whatever you want to do in your relationship, or saying, you know, because I've seen people say, oh, my husband's not the boss of me. Oh, my wife ain't the boss of me. They don't tell me what to do. But again, why is that what makes you feel independent? Why can't you feel independent by finding something, a hobby, a business, whatever it is that you are building on your own, or something that you do? Like, why isn't your independence, why don't you feel independent from breaking those stereotypes of feeling like, oh, the only way to be independent? Like, I feel like I've broken that stereotype. So many people looked at me as a strong, independent woman, and for them to see me still be who I am, authentically, unapologetically, but in this union with Wallace and working as a team, a lot of people have looked at it like, dang, and this is true. And he knows it. Like, if Stay can do it, anybody can do it. And I do it, and I'm happy about it. It's nothing I think about every day. I don't have a problem playing my role as we've defined it in our household. I don't have any problem going to him for his buy-in, his permission, whatever you want to call it, when I do things, because what it makes me feel is loved and appreciated, and someone who is team Stay. And the reason why we discuss things is because I trust that he has my best interest at heart as well. And that does not make me feel not independent. It makes me feel safe and secure and loved and appreciated. So I look forward to discussing things with him and asking him about things and getting his opinion. And I trust that whatever information he's going to give me is going to be information that's going to benefit me, and I need it to receive.
I'll just say it like this. I know it's kind of like maybe I hate to say it's not cliche-ish, but it's out there. You know, there's nothing more powerful than a woman who has a strong man behind her. You know, and a man is the same way. Nothing more powerful than a man who has a strong woman behind her. And I don't take anything away from her. I think if anything, I add stuff to her, and she does the same for me. And I think that what makes us more or less an unstoppable force out here in what we're trying to do in our business, in the community, and get involved in the things that we have going on. So it is it's awesome the way to have that love and support. And like I said, I don't think that changed anything. You know, I wasn't really a person who liked to hang out a lot and hang out late at night or anything like that anyway. So that really wasn't another thing. I have a lot of friends. I still text with them. We hook up every now and then, but it's nothing I need to do every other weekend and nothing like that. I just need to hang out with her. That's the most important thing. Hanging out with her, you know, like that, like L.Y.F.E say, being up under her, you know, that's probably the thing that makes me feel the most independent that I can be, operating in my independence, rather, I put it that way.
Thank you for that, Tim. I didn't realize that people couldn't drop their links without. I knew that Nightbot was a part, but I'm going to have to find somebody or a couple of somebodies who don't mind moderating for me. So thank you for that. But yeah, if y'all can just put y'all handles in, whatever you're at, like for me, at Stay Hall, you can find me everywhere. J3 said, we are each other's boss, but in hard time, I have the final say so. And that's pretty much how we are. Like, I just consider Wallace the tiebreaker. But J3, I'm sure you can probably attest to this as being in a successful marriage for many years. The fact that when you are equally yoked and you have an understanding, there's just not that many times where you have to have that final say, because I know for us, it just doesn't happen that often because we're usually on the same page. It's not like every single thing that comes up, we're butting heads. No, normally we're like one thing that happens with us a lot is it's like, that's exactly what I was about to say, or that's exactly what I was thinking we needed to do. And he says all the time, dang, babe, we are on the same page, because that's exactly what I was going to suggest. And so when you are in that type of relationship, then it makes it a lot easier to navigate those times where you're not feeling like anybody has to make a decision or run point, because it's the teamwork. Okay, Tim, thank you so much. Thank you for volunteering to moderate for me. Now I got to figure out how to make somebody a moderator, but I appreciate that, and I am going to do that. Hey, Lachey, how are you, boo? Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoyed your last vlog. But until we get the moderator set up, y'all, please feel free to at least drop your handles, because I want to make sure. And I also start the link, so y'all know I talk a lot. Wallace talks a lot. It's not just me.
But y'all do see this independence thing that keep happening up with just putting her name on the page.
No, okay. So let me explain that. But anyway, the link is there. So if anybody wants to join us. Oh, thank you, Lachey. See, we the favorite couple. It's a contest, y'all. We won. We're the favorite couple. We're YouTube's favorite couple. But the reason why only my name is up here, let me show y'all. When I put both of our names up here, it covers our faces. Like on one side, depending on how you're looking at it, it covers Wallace's face or mine. Sure. And when we move, it covers my mouth. Now, I don't know how to take my name off, because I think my name is just on there from the beginning. So when you take that off, mine automatically just pops up. Sure. I just demonstrated for y'all. Yeah, he is in his feelings today, but let's see. Okay, so let me see. I'm getting a tutorial here. You go to YouTube in the live chat and click their name to add them as a moderator. Okay, so go to YouTube. Go ahead, keep talking to the people about.
No, I have nothing to say.
I gotta say, you better not. They're getting ready to see all this independence go right out the window, because you getting ready to be knocked on the floor.
But when you're in a relationship with them, you operate in love. You operate in love for the other person. They operate in love for you. And that's why you don't worry about losing yourself. I would tell you, if you're thinking about a relationship, you're going down this road, worry about, am I going to lose who I am? If anything, the right person is going to do, not going to do anything but enhance who you are. They're going to enhance who you are. They're going to make you better. You're going to help make them better, because you're adding to it. You're not taking away. And like I say, anything else, I think she's added more to me, and I've added more to her. And that what makes us stronger in our relationship. And, you know, that's how we're able to go out and try and do the things that we do, try to be around other couples, just try to add love and show love to other people, and try to be the role model, be those examples of what we try to do day in and day out for everyone.
Jody, the reason why you can't see everybody who's making the comments is because I believe you are looking on Facebook. So you have to be on YouTube in order to see everything, because this is actually like a YouTube live. I'm just streaming it to other platforms. And J3 is about to join us on the stage and give us some of his marriage expertise. So welcome to the stage, J3. What you got to tell the people, sir?
You caught me in the midst of trying to water my plant.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so Jody, if you go to YouTube, you'll be able to see everybody. And yeah, it's because they don't play well with Facebook all the time.
So I do the easy way. Stay Hall. Why don't you just put
you for that stay?
Why don't you just put on there Mr. and Mrs. Hall?
I can. I guess because I always just want to be stay.
And,
but I guess
part of you want to stay. You want to stay there and push him to the side. I understand.
You see it happening? You see it happening?
You see how easy that was? Then it just looks, and then my name's already there.
J3, you don't know how many times we've adjusted this camera.
Hey, and it ain't got nothing to do with the camera.
I'm not trying to do that. I'm not. But yeah, that misses. Now that is, and I don't feel like me not wanting to go by Mrs. is a part of my independence. It's just like sometimes I don't mind it, but that's not my name. So that's why I'm always like, stay in Dr. Wallace Hall or whatever, just because I'm not Mrs., but that would be better for space, I
You're
guess.
not, you're not Mrs., but he got to be Dr. Wallace, huh?
And I make him do that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that costs a lot of money. I'm like, what was we gonna use it for? So
Okay.
that
It's
costs a lot of money.
it's a good conversation. I got 38 years, and I told her to leave, but she ain't never left yet. So, hey.
And we know that is not true, J3. You did not tell that woman to leave. What was you gonna do when she left? Ask her to come back?
Party, party. Let me stop lying.
Right.
I say party where? In that yard?
Hey, that's basically it.
Yes, with the goat.
No, not with the goat. Not with the goat.
Are we allowed to talk about the goat yet, or is the goat still on punishment?
Oh, you mean the sheep?
Oh, the sheep. Okay, because I knew there was somebody you just did not want us mentioning.
The sheep is for he's forever punished until he get in the freezer.
Oh Lord.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well.
Once I bring my animals back, a sheep will never be on my property again.
Really?
Never. Unless he's in the freezer.
I got you. Let me ask you a question. 38 years. What are the keys?
Speak your piece. Learn to be quiet. And that's just not him. That's also her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as you say, you have to balance each other out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got to let her rant and go off until she get it out of her system. And then the man, he's going to rant for about 2 minutes. She got to let him get that out of his system.
Okay.
And that's basically it. You learn to vibe with each other. And it's not always my way all the time. That's where a lot of people mess up, because it's always my way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I tell my wife straight off the bat, I said, whatever you do, that's fine. I tell her, I said, inside this house is yours, outside the house is mine. I'm not just talking about in the garden, but when we're out in the street or whatever, I'm the boss. For the simple reason is, a good example. I told my wife, if we're ever in Wally World and you're somewhere, because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to the garden section or to the auto section or to the sporting good. And my wife, she does the shopping. I said, now, if you ever get in an argument with somebody and it look like you're getting ready to throw hands or whatever, do not acknowledge me. I said, do not acknowledge them. My husband will take care of you. No, I said, do not acknowledge me. Never acknowledge me, because I'm going to be there for you. Never acknowledge me, because if I see it's getting out of hand, I'm going to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if it's a female or whatever, and I got a disagreement or whatever, I'm going to handle it, but I'm only going to go so far. My wife, she going to take over.
Mm-hmm.
And in certain situations, you have to use, if you say your husband and wife, you have to use common sense about things. And my biggest thing is, you're not always right. Sometimes that wife is going to lead you in the direction that you should go. And sometimes the husband is going to lead you in the direction you go. You might not see something, but your husband see it. And he tells you, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go this place. You don't see it because it's something that you want to do. But when you decide to listen to your husband and say, I really don't need to go. And then 15, 20 minutes, you find out there was a car accident right there. You could have been in the midst of it.
Right. Right. That's so true. And that's the thing too, with just kind of for us, having each other's backs and knowing that we have that comfort and that security in one another, which it makes it so much easier for me, because even when I was out there single and independent, nobody else had my back. And so I always had my head on a swivel. I had to deal with everything myself. I literally got into it in a restaurant with 3 men by myself. I was good though. I had a wrought iron chair. That's a whole different story for another time. But I always, had to sit facing the door. Like I knew all the things, but now I've noticed how much I've changed and I relax because he's with me all the time. And so certain things will happen and I don't even notice, but he did. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have never missed that before. But it has been so good for me just to kind of woo-saw and exhale and realize that I don't have to watch everything and I don't have to, I can relax and I'm good with that.
Well, like you said, you don't have to sit with your back towards the door. When me and my wife, we used to go to the restaurant. My wife would never sit facing the door. That was always me facing the door. Her back would be towards because I'm watching out for her.
Right.
No matter what the situation is, when you got somebody that you love, you're married to and everything, you don't think about yourself. You think about them.
Right.
Like I said before, many times before, I never had fear until I got married.
Yeah.
I done did Uncle Sam's work and did everything I was supposed to do. Head almost chopped off and everything. But I never had fear until I got married and had children. And the fear was not for me. It was the fear for this woman and these children that I love.
Yeah.
I've always considered God had his hand on me and I wasn't afraid of anything. But I learned fear when I got a family. That's when I learned fear.
Yeah.
That's why that whole independence thing is like I say, it's not as big as people make it because your life starts being being not led, but being more about them and making sure they're taken care of and they're protected and not necessarily about yourself anymore.
Right. I don't want nobody to throw no rock at me, but I'm gonna put this out there. When you have a female talking about being independent, she's not married or she's got a problem in her marriage. If you got a marriage and you trust each other and you feed off each other, you won't hear a woman talking about being independent because she know that man has her back regardless.
Yep.
That's it.
I agree.
It, bro.
I definitely agree. And that's definitely what it took for me, because I didn't feel like that in my previous relationship, which is why I was so stuck on my independence because I didn't trust that he had my back. And so when I got that, it was so easy to let go of all of that independence because it's just like we're a team and there's no I in team. As cliche as that is, it's true. We're definitely a team. And so my independence comes again with other people because I'm in business and I deal with other people, but he loves the fact that I know how to carry myself. But even with that, if I have an issue, who am I coming to help me with that? Him.
That's it.
Yeah.
And like you said, now you used the word independent. There's a difference. When a person always talking about being independent, you got that independent that want to be themselves. But as you said, in business, yes, in business, you are independent. You have to be independent. But behind the scenes, that right there's your rock behind to the right of you. That's your rock.
Right.
So even when you're being independent on the job, you're going to come back and you're going to lay all this on him so that you can have peace of mind.
Exactly.
I think when some people get kind of confused and with that, when we talk about independence, is confidence. I think they confuse those two and they're different. They're defined differently, but I think people confuse confidence because, she says her independence is what attracted, but really it was her confidence in who she was as a woman and her mind and things like that's really what attracted me to her. So when we talk about it, but although she was independent, that was a part of it, but the biggest part was her confidence in who she was and how she knew how to handle herself. And then it wasn't necessarily about, the independent part, but, it kind of plays hand. But I think people get those confused a lot of times.
Let me say hi.
I agree.
Hey, Chrissy, thank you for tuning in. Boo, thank you so much. And hey, Tori, thank you for being here. And I wanted to put this back on the screen. I don't know if you saw this, J3, when you was talking about asking her to leave. Yeah, you going to get in the doghouse. One of these days, she going to go back and watch all these videos and see you talking smack.
And you know what? When she said, I'm in the doghouse, One thing that she'll tell you, I don't invite nobody in my bedroom, and I always sleep in my bed.
Right.
I got 1, 2, 3. I got 3 other beds in here, but when it comes to nighttime and me getting in the bed, I always sleep in my bed.
Yeah, that's us too, J3. We do not believe in that. And we were talking about that not too long ago, how on all the sitcoms back in the day, a husband would be on the couch and they'd be like, oh, you must be in the doghouse. And that's one thing too. Yeah, we sleep in our own bed. Now, we might not be laughing and giggling every time, but that's where we at. Because that kind of stuff just creates more of a divide. It's like, that's not going to solve anything.
Or the Lucille Ball show, where the husband in one bed and the wife in another bed.
Oh, yeah, they had the 2 twins. Yeah.
Yeah, we're discussing that. It was strange how TV life has progressed, where they had to be in separate beds, but yet they had a child.
Right. Right.
So
they had to get on the floor sometime.
Yes.
Or push them together. Hey, Tapped In, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Now, here's something I'm going to share with y'all that was kind of crazy to me in the beginning. I always tease Wallace and say he asked the Lord to kill me, but that wasn't really the case. We were just having a conversation about, we were going through early in our marriage, creating our wheels, doing all that things, because we were blending our families and we had properties that we needed to take care of and just different things, and trying to figure out, if anything would happen to one of us, how things were going to be handled. And especially, with him having children, me having children, wanting to make sure that everybody was taken care of. And so one thing Wallace has said to me in that conversation that I kind of took the wrong way, and I still may not be 100% on board, but I knew where he was coming from. But he was saying, when I had said something about, I just don't know how I would even deal with this, and I just feel like I would be so distraught. And so just to let all y'all know too, because I need witnesses, if anything were ever to happen to Wallace, I'm going to disappear. I have no desire just like to stay here, to live in our house, to try to navigate that. All of our kids are grown. And so we've decided that I'm going to move away and I'm going to be off grid, because I think that would be best for me. However, what Wallace said in that conversation is, well, I already asked the Lord to take you first. Because I think that would just be easier. And I said, so you asked the Lord to kill me? And he said it so seriously. And I understood what he meant. And of course, that's not like what he wants. Like, of course, he wants me to be here forever. And, we'll both just die peacefully in our sleep together. But as crazy as it sounds, there was also, I knew CC would be like, really? Because it's them offshore accounts he got, CC.
No, CC.
But the thing was, even in that, even though that's the craziest thing, he still, his love for me, I guess, even like in death, he's like, I just want you to be okay. And it just, for him to know that there could come a point in time on this earth where he can't take care of me and provide for me. And he's like, I didn't mean the way it sounded, but it's just when having those conversations, sometimes, you can't exactly find the words, but I still, after my shock, just realized like, dang, even in death, his main concern is to make sure that I'm taking care of him and I'm okay.
Right. I can understand it, because to be truthful, sometime I don't think my wife would make it if I wasn't here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's the point that she's depended on me so much since we've been married. I pay all the bills. I do everything that need to be done. She'll pay 1 or 2 bills that she got, but other than that, all the main bills and everything, I pay.
Right.
I tried to relieve myself. I said, baby, you take the bills. You just pay the bills. The money is there. You pay the bills. I ain't doing it. Yeah. She said, she ain't doing it. She said, that's too much of a headache paying all these bills and all that. She said, nah, you keep it. You do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and so it was crazy when he said it, but like I said, hey, Miss T. Miss T said, Jax, I stole your co-host, Miss T. Do y'all have a DNR for each other? I have a DNR. I have a DNR, and he did not force my hand. I have a DNR. I always have. I just, stuff about, I'm just weird with stuff like that. I'm just like,
I don't have one because I I want them trying to the last possible moment.
He want people to kill themselves trying to keep him alive. I'm just
The
like,
last possible
I
let
know
the
the
Lord have his way.
I know the feeling, bro. If it takes 20 times, you better try to get me back 20 times.
That's the whole deal. Hey, we're gonna keep going until.
I hear one beat. Well, keep on going, then. Keep on going.
Yeah. Let's try a little longer.
Yeah.
That's
Our
it.
ideas on that are completely different as far as just like me. I want to be cremated. I don't want a funeral. I don't want anybody looking at my body when I'm dead because I don't know how I'm going to be looking that day. I don't feel like that's fair. I don't want none of that. He want to, what do they call it? Lion state. He want to be dragged through the neighborhood, awake for 5 days. People sitting, shiver.
I want some stuff shut down. I want some stuff shut down.
He can have you
Hey,
stuff. No,
I'm military, so however they do it, they do it.
Yeah.
I've been to preside over the military general, so yeah.
Once something gone, it don't matter what you do.
That's how I feel.
All the money I got, if you want to go spend all that money just to put me in the ground, that's up to you. You'd be the one suffering when you're finished. It'll be you suffering, not me.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, but Wallace don't care. He like, do whatever it takes to keep me alive, and then if I don't make it, spend up all the money putting me out of here in style.
No, I want you to use less as possible.
Right.
Let me see. My father-in-law is still in the cabinet in here. My mom, my dad, they in the ground. Her mom is in the ground, but my father-in-law is still in here.
Oh wow.
So I'm gonna have to wait till the wife she just forget about it one day, and I'm gonna take all the he loved fishing. Me and used to go fishing all the time. When she forget about it, I'm gonna take that whole thing and go feed the fish.
Oh my goodness. Well, he probably would like that though. He probably would.
You know what?
But I just put in jewelry for
he cared less. Once you leave this world, there's no memories in your mind, your body, or nothing else of this world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not gonna have any idea. Hey, Can't Stop. Thank you for being here.
Cruising. I thought you said cursing. That's like what?
No, Can't Stop Walking, but Love Mowing and Cruising. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, see, that's beautiful. Yeah, burying a garden. Yeah, I just want to be in little lockets for everybody just to take me everywhere so I can continue, rolling around this earth. But they're serious to have.
Since you say that, I'm gonna give you this little bit. And I know it's way before your time, but the Mickey Mouse show, there was a little episode on there of this girl and her brother. They went to this little land and they saw their grandmother and grandfather. They were in rocking chairs and they were just frozen. And then she started talking to her brother about this grandma, this grandpa, and they start moving. And the grandmother told him, said, baby, every time y'all think about us, we live. So that's the point I'm making right there. Whether they got your ashes in a pendant or whatever, your grandparents, your husband, your wife, your loved one, they're going to be in your heart and in your mind. And that's what makes them live, because they're not going to feel nothing. You're going through all this pain, but they're not feeling anything.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. Can't Stop said he remembers that episode.
All right, Mickey Mouse Club.
That sounds creepy, J3.
No, that's the Mickey Mouse Club. See, you too young to know about the Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh my goodness. She said that sounds creepy. That is hilarious.
But that's life though. We carry on in our memories. People so they can't, because the Bible talks about, can a man live again? Yes, you can. You can live again through your memories and through your legacy that you leave behind. So it is possible. And that is the way, way to do it. But like I said, I just want to make sure she's taken care of. That's why we try to make sure we have the proper things in place for our house, for our finances and things like that. So, I got all of our passwords, all of that stuff written down, so she knows how to access everything.
Ooh, even the offshore stuff.
She knows what the offshore stuff is too, CC.
That led me to something else, though. He said passwords, and I need some. Now, we have a few single people in this chat. I know y'all need to join up here on this one, and this could probably be a whole show in and of itself.
Oh, it is.
Do you believe in sharing your passwords with your spouse or your partner? Because everybody is not into getting married, but you have the relationships that look like marriage. Do you feel like that is an invasion of your privacy, or you're losing your independence if you are sharing passwords? And I'm not going to tell y'all what Wallace and I have decided to do about that, because I don't want to sway anybody either way. But I would love for someone to join us and tell us what your take is on the password thing, because that is a big thing. Between making the man the plate before you make your kids plate and sharing passwords, those two things are.
So your children's plate come first now. Until them kids get 11, 12, then his plate come first.
Oh, okay.
But as long as they're under that age, their food always come first until they hit that 11, 12. When they become that teen, then they learn that daddy eats first.
What about a big piece of chicken?
Who get the big piece of chicken?
I wouldn't care. My name ain't Broke Farmer.
So Broke Farmer say he get the big piece of chicken. That is funny. So I gotta hear from y'all. I can't believe this ain't lighting up like a Christmas tree with everybody trying to get on here about these passwords. Why don't y'all want us to know? J3, what you feel about the passwords? And do you think husbands and wives should share passwords on their phones and stuff?
Yes. Now I'll be realistic with you. When it comes to passwords, if my wife just sit and think about it, she would know all my passwords. I don't hide it from her. Now, her and her passwords, she won't tell me all her password, but my password, I look at it this way. I ain't got nothing to hide.
Mm-hmm.
So if she look, and plus if she remember my password on my phone and she go on my phone, she can find my passwords, or she can go on the computer, she can find my passwords. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I don't try to hide it from her. She just don't remember them.
What you think, CC? I can't wait.
Well, as a single person dating, in quotes, I don't share my password. If I was married to them, then there would be a different thing, but not while we're dating.
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So even in dating though, CC, how long you think you would go in dating before you would even be share passwords or share, access to phones where someone can just pick your phone up and
CC, let me answer this one for you.
Go ahead.
As long as you're dating, the only password you get is to the Wi-Fi.
Right.
Yeah. And we didn't share passwords until we knew we were getting married. Yeah, we didn't share passwords until we knew we were getting married. And my thing is, again, with the relationship, it shouldn't be a big deal, once you're married, because I definitely agree as far as the dating stuff. Mm-hmm. But once you're married, it's like I don't have his password to go through his phone. Like, that's not my issue at all. Right. And vice versa. It's just because if anything were to happen, I need to be able to access certain information. Like if I pick up Wallace's phone, even now, and the same with him with me, I'm telling him why I'm picking up a phone. Like if we're at an event and he's taking pictures on his phone, I'll say, babe, you mind if I go in your phone and send myself the pictures you took? I'm still going to let him know. And It's rare that I need to go into his phone, but it's just that, you do want to make it clear that I have nothing to hide, but at the same time, I'm not going and looking for nothing either.
So I have a question. When it comes to a lady's purse, would your husband, you allow your husband to go in your purse or not?
I have no problem with him going in my purse, but CC, this man will not. His mother raised him in such a way that that's something you won't do. So it is, I can't say he's never gone in my purse, but it is like a rare occasion where I got to be up to my elbows in something for him to do it. He will come bring me my purse from miles around and hand it to me. And I'm like, dude. So yeah, I bet the whole time we've been together, he's probably gone in my purse 3 times to grab something because he had no choice.
Now, I do go in my wife's purse. But when I go in her purse, I usually put money in her purse without
Oh,
telling her that I'm putting money in her purse.
I
I
like
do that. I do that.
You're good with that, huh, Steve?
yeah. Ain't nothing wrong
But
with
but as far, even if my wife, she said, look at my purse, get my car keys and whatever. If I don't use a spare key, I'll bring her purse to her.
Mm.
Or if it's an emergency, then I will go in the purse. But other than that, I really don't go in there.
Yeah, that's him too. And oh my gosh, a couple of the boys have done it before, but with my permission. And if he sees, because I'll be like, oh, just grab it out my purse. He's like, they don't go in the purse. Okay, so Tapped In said we share passwords.
Don't hold a purse either.
We don't share passwords, but I have access to all his financial information. So I'm curious, Tapped In, why did you choose not to share passwords, just out of curiosity? And y'all know any of y'all can join us. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. And Deborah said, my country boy husband won't do it. And y'all know this right here is Jethro Bodine. So I guess that's the thing. Yeah, he ain't going in my person. Don't let them boys. I mean, them boys have gotten in trouble and they're like, she told me to. I don't care what she said. You don't go in your mama's purse. Wait until she can get it for you. You don't go in your mama's purse.
So you wouldn't. So y'all wouldn't hold your wife's purse if they needed you to hold a purse for them, or
yeah, they can hold it.
If you're bringing the purse to them, you are actually holding the purse.
But hold it, but don't swing it. Just hold it steady.
Because he's
don't even put it up under your arms. Don't even put it up under your arms.
Hold it away from you, huh?
If you got a strap on it, don't put that over your shoulder. Just hold it out. Ball the strap up in your hand and just hold it.
Oh gosh.
And that's how he will do it. Like he holding a trash bag. Okay,
purse etiquette.
We're talking about it. Yeah. And that's the thing too. It's not anything necessarily like that you have to have those conversations with. It's just me. Y'all know I'm a life coach. And all of my clients that I have one-on-one are women. And I would say 90% of them are single. And so these are just conversations I have with them a lot as far as the passwords and things like that. And a lot of times women who are dating who feel insecure because believe it or not, y'all, the women are quicker to give up the password than the guys. And so a lot of women feel insecure when the guy doesn't want to give up his password. And I just have mixed feelings about that because I believe that men have the same right to their privacy in dating and whatever as we do. And my thoughts on that is if you feel like he has something to hide, then maybe that's an issue in and of itself, because getting that password is not going to help you with those issues if that's something that you're feeling. Right. But
you got bigger issues than that.
Yeah. And
so you definitely got to start having those conversations there, because if you're struggling with that part of the relationship, it's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to be more cause for caution down the road. So it's best to start trying to deal with those things now.
Yeah, because it's just like we were talking about, like Cece said, in dating and how I felt in dating, like there's no need for me to give you the password. And so it's no difference if a man feels that way. And so you have to really understand with yourself, why is that so important to you? Now, it's a difference if somebody is literally like hiding their phone every time they get a call, they got to walk out, things like that. But if somebody is just functioning like normal everyday life, but just don't want to give you their password and you're not married, that's not necessarily a red flag to me. You have to be able to look at some other things.
I will share this with you guys. When we first started dating, I always have my phone on vibrate rather, because when I working at the bank for all those years and things like that, if you're in a meeting or something like that and you forget to turn it off and it rings, and we had a policy in place, especially in a lot of our places and our banks, no phones. But if you're somewhere and the phone is constantly going off and other people so now I can't hold my people to that standard saying no phones, don't be on your phone, and my phone is always going off. So I just made it a habit of always having my phone vibrate. And when we first started dating, she used to always ask me all the time, why is your phone always on vibrate? I'm like, that's just the way I keep it, because I don't want to get to work and forget to turn it off, and I'm in some important meeting or something like that, and here's my phone going off. So even to this day, now she learned after a few months of us being together, that's just how I am. My phone just always stays on vibrate.
And I hardly ever put my phone on vibrate.
And she's always forgetting to turn it off in meetings.
Yeah, and I'm always the one. It's always me.
And when it goes off, she's the furthest from it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
me.
And you got to toss the purse over there to her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It
so
is
she gotta
always
she
me.
gotta have her assistant or me go turn it off.
Yeah, he'll ask me sometimes, did you turn your phone off? Did you turn your phone off? Because I'm horrible. Because again, being a single mom for so long, my biggest thing is I never wanted to miss one of those boys' calls if they weren't with me. And so I'll get off and do something and have it on. But yeah, at the first, I thought he was a little shady. I'm like, dude, who keep their phone on silent all the time? Like, you're a little shady.
That's the only time I answer my wife's phone. If it's one of the kids calling and she's not in the room, I would answer it then. Hey, your mom, she's in the kitchen. I take the phone to her, whatever. But other than that, I don't answer. I don't
like
answer.
if his phone is ringing or mine is ringing and the other one isn't, there, like he'll, yell out and say, babe, your sister's calling or whatever. And then I'll say, go ahead and answer it or whatever. And so, yeah, it's like a lot of those things just as a courtesy. But again, it's not that anybody's hiding anything.
Even when a sister called, I don't answer.
Hey, Kenneth, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
But in relationships, for as the deal, like the topic tonight and kind of what we kind of talked over here about here now, it's just really about having open communication. That's the biggest thing in any relationship, having open communication and being willing to talk about stuff. Don't take and hide it and say, oh, we'll talk about it later. No, it's best to talk about it now. And that way we can get it all on the table.
Yeah, and I just feel like in dating, especially the older we get, and this is just my opinion, it's just that not many women.
Now, I'm gonna interrupt you for a second.
Okay.
You see, I'm here doing a live, but my wife told my grandson, go in there and tell Papa to give me some banana pudding.
He said, ain't nobody worried about that laugh.
Right?
She said, it's time for dessert.
Are you holding the banana pudding in the office with you?
Unfortunately, yes.
He ran
the whole thing with you. Are you in control of the banana pudding?
Hey, on the ball.
Oh my goodness! But you ain't asked no questions. You just
did.
Wow. Oh my goodness. What was I going to say? Oh, so what I was going to say is most women, because this is not true for most men, unfortunately, but most women on the other side of 35, especially on the other side of 40, are not trying to be anybody's girlfriend for years. Like, first of all, I'm not a girl. I'm a full-grown woman, and I know what I want. And most of us at that age also have either been married before or in other serious relationships. And we've learned what we want, what we don't want, and whatever. And you don't want to just be dating without end in sight. And it's not necessarily like after 2 dates, okay, what are your intentions? But once you've been in something for, I would say, 2 weeks, and you've been communicating on a regular basis and you've gone out 3 or 4 times, those are the times to start having those conversations about things like the password and about things about independence and what are your non-negotiables. Because when you avoid those conversations just because you're having fun and you don't want to scare somebody off, that's how you end up wasting your time.
Right.
Only to find out later that you don't see eye to eye on some of the key points. And I know so many people firsthand who have put those things off. And usually you put them off because some of the signs are already there, but ignorance is not bliss. You can keep ignoring it and don't want to bring it up, but all that's going to do is waste your time. So I encourage people at a certain maturity level with a certain mindset, because everybody doesn't want to get married. So if you don't want to get married and you enjoy dating, that's fine. But if your end goal is to find that forever relationship, don't put off those crucial conversations about things like money and independence and all of those things. Nip it in the bud, find out where you are, so that you can make room for the next person. Because one thing I know for sure is God is not going to bless you with that forever person while you're still wasting your time for that person who's not for you.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of go through the process and learn people and make your decisions rather quickly so you can get to that forever person. And that forever person is not going to have a problem having those conversations.
Right. And it's good to talk about things, especially like debt. If you're owing child support, or if you're owing student loans, and those kind of things is not going to go away. And so those things need to be talked about, you know.
Yeah.
Because some people will hide things as long as they can. And it's like, you know, and that's why you kind of, not that I want people tricking people, but it's kind of catch them off guard, you know, because they're not expecting it. So ask the questions early on before they are able to come up with a story. You know what I mean? Ask the questions. And it's funny because that exact thing happened to somebody I know who they had been married for a couple of years, and the wife had no idea that this man not only owed child support, she didn't know that he had any kids until they decided in their second or third year of marriage to go ahead and file jointly, and did not get their tax return because the whole tax return was taken in child support. And when she went to ask the tax preparer, like, what happened, and she told them that, well, it was because of child support, he still tried to sit there and deny it. And so they had to go through some investigation. And of course, she gave him the benefit of the doubt in the beginning because mistakes can be made. But now here she is married to this man 2 or 3 years. And what do you do now? And he has kids.
You know, before you get married, you can't let it be so-called love that drive you. In the process of you becoming to love one another, you have to talk about things. I told my wife, honey slanger came a few years late, but in my early days, yes, I was slinging honey and mangoes and everything else. Okay. Wallace don't look like that, because if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know.
Here for the morning show.
I thought it was eating the mangoes and slinging the honey. Okay.
I was a soldier. And the thing to it is, when you're just beginning and everything, each other have to slide things in to talk about, because you don't want things to catch you later.
Yeah.
And like I told my wife many times, I said, we ain't going to bed mad at one another. And that used to be my thing right there, straight off the bat. She could be mad at me, but you ain't getting in this bed and you're mad at me. Yeah. I'm not getting in this bed and I'm mad at you. And we done that for about a good 10 or so years. I'm not going to bed. We're not getting in this bed and we mad. And that was over 10 years we did that. But then after you done got all this behind your belt, it's just certain things you realize, oh, I can go to sleep now. This ain't nothing.
Like, we're not even really mad. That's one thing that I had to. It's funny you bring that up, because I had never really witnessed nor experienced a healthy relationship. So to me, arguments were difficult. Like, I felt like if we have a disagreement, like, this is just horrible. And so Wallace had to show me, like, the difference between, like, being upset and just having a disagreement. Because I'm like, well, you mad? And he's like, I'm not mad. We just had a disagreement. Because I would think everything like, okay, I guess that's the end. We just got to break up. And he was like, why would we break up because of that? But to me, that's how it was. And so I had to learn how to have healthy disagreements that don't end in, okay, well, we just done. And that was one of the things with him, not going to bed angry. Like, yeah, we can discuss it. And then also agreeing to disagree and being okay with that. Right. It's like, okay, so it's fine, but I'm not still mad. I don't necessarily agree with you, but you don't agree with me either. So we're even, and we just keep it moving. Because so many of the things that we have disagreements about aren't really that important anyway. It's just disagreement, but it's not an end all be all to anything. So. True. That is where we are. And so we are at our time, y'all. It is 8:28. So we are usually on for an hour and a half. I want to thank you, Cece and J3, for joining me up on the stage. J3, what you got?
I just want to say, I don't get mad. She tells me when I'm mad.
Oh, he would say that too.
Yeah,
I don't get mad. She's doing, you mad now, ain't you? No, I ain't mad. Oh, you mad? No, I'm not mad.
I didn't move on to something else.
I get mad because you keep telling me I'm mad and I'm not mad.
Preach. 3 times.
He be like, I didn't have an attitude until you said I did.
You told me about 5 times I got an attitude. I didn't have one.
That's it.
I'm like, that's fine. You can have your little attitude. He's like, I don't have an attitude. I'm like, yes, you do.
And being married, that's one of the things right there. A wife have to know when to step back, because you don't have a problem, but you can make it a problem for you. For the simple reason you keep saying you mad, and I'm not mad, but you want to keep saying I'm mad. I'm not mad. After the 3rd time I told you I'm not mad, the 4th time, I'm mad at you because you want to tell me I'm mad.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we had to come up with a little rule and guideline about that. Like with the what's wrong or I'm mad, we ask each other twice. If the answer is nothing or I'm not mad, after the 2 times, we do not ask anymore. I'm telling you. We have come up with guidelines with so many things because we just realized from the past how many small things can snowball into this huge thing if you don't learn how to just nip it in the bud. Right. And so that's what we've done. It's like we have time frames on our disagreements. We don't go to bed angry. We don't ask each other the same questions over and over again. And we have guidelines, and we don't mind reminding each other, like, okay, now you done asked me 3 times. That's not even a rule. And it's like, okay, thank you for reminding me. Let's move on.
That 50 times, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I told you nothing is wrong with me. But you got to make something wrong with me.
Yeah. And you have to realize,
number 60, there's a problem.
Yeah, there's a problem.
And with the whole independence piece too, before we end, is that's a part of independence as well, letting people work through their own feelings. Right. You can keep that independence. Sometimes they're just not ready to talk right now, whether it's the husband or the wife, whatever. And people have the right to process. You're supposed to share with your spouse and significant other, but there is no like, oh, you got to tell me right now. You have to share that. People have the right and that independence to be able to process through their own feelings in their own time. Thank you so much, Tapped In. I appreciate you.
Also, do y'all remember that episode of Cosby Show where Theo and Cockroach went to that club and Cockroach told Theo to go in and Theo came back and said, no, you go in. And so Cockroach went in and Theo was mad. You can't do that in a relationship where say, if you had asked me again, I was going to tell you what was wrong. Oh, I asked you what was wrong. We can't keep going back and forth of eventually you're going to tell me what's wrong. So it's like, say you 2 times, I'm going to ask you what's wrong. You say nothing. I ask you again, what's wrong? You say nothing. And then we got to move on. And you can't come back later and say, well, you should have really showed me that you really wanted to know. That was the purpose of me asking twice.
Yeah.
But bro, since you said that a little bit, I'm going to end it on this. No matter what the man say, because a woman in her mindset, they still gonna think there's a problem when there's no problem. I'm serious. 9 out of 10 women will still think there's a problem when there's no problem.
That's true. That is true.
How you feel about that, CC?
Yeah. I'm still working through things.
CC right there. He read my mind.
Oh my goodness, that is so hilarious. Well, y'all remember. Go ahead. I'm sorry, CC. What you said?
I was just going to say thank you for allowing us to come up here, and I'm gonna get ready to get off of here.
All right,
somebody got to get ready to go to work.
Yeah, I gotta say, CC, you got to work tomorrow.
I'm off.
Oh, good. I don't have anything tomorrow morning because I've been missing y'all in the mornings. I've only been able to jump on for like 5 minutes, but I'll be there tomorrow morning.
Hey,
awesome. I will see y'all.
Well,
thank y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all
so much. So much love, you guys.
Thank you, Mr. and Miss Hall. Love you guys. Y'all be blessed until we meet again.
Yes, sir, my brother. You have a good one.
All right. Have a good one. And y'all remember, I put the Hallway Life up there because we want to move this relationship stuff over to that YouTube channel. So if you haven't already subscribed to the Hallway Life, just go to YouTube and type in @TheHallWAY Life. And please subscribe to that channel. We just want to make sure that we are pleasing the algorithm and keeping everything separate so they'll know where to send people. And then please go ahead and like the video if you have not already liked it, because that helps us in the algorithm as well. And so y'all know the drill. Always be kind and always love one another, but don't forget to live your life. L.Y.F.E. Love yourself first explicitly. And we'll see y'all next time in the hallway. Good night, y'all.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you so much.
And she gonna put Dr. Waller.